Hey preppers in YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be packaging up some dry ingredients in Mylar bags. We got our oxygen absorbers, we got everything ready. Stick with me and I'll be right back. We're back, and to show you what we're going to need, I have everything laid out here. The counter's a bit of a mess right now. We'll clear this out once we get started, but just to show you everything we need, of course, first of all, we're going to need Mylar bags. This is the smallest size in the kit that I bought, but the kit I bought has 70 bags in it in 4 different sizes. There are what they call the half pint, the 1 quart, the 2 quart, and the 1 gallon. The kit also came with labels, like this, labels, and the oxygen absorbers. Now it came with the 200cc, 300cc, 400cc, 500cc, and I also have a pack of 100 and some odd left in here of the 100cc's. We're going to be using some of those. Other things you are going to need is probably your canning funnel, make it easier to get things in there, measuring cups, measuring spoons, again more measuring cups here. We're going to need a good old-fashioned iron, and yeah, this one, I mean, check out the cord on this one and the color. This is obviously from the 1960s, maybe even 50s. Shout out to the quality of what they made back then, because this thing's, what, 60, 70 years old. Still works really well, too. Try and get that from a $20 Walmart iron today. I've got a piece of flat wood here, just a scrap board that I had hanging around. I actually think this is the one I use to prop up my freezer door when I'm digging around in there and rotating stuff. And, of course, you're going to want the products that you want to package. Today we're doing some soup mixes, some couscous, I have some buttermilk pancake mix, and I've got some dehydrated mushrooms that I dehydrated last week. So on to the kit here. The majority, or the biggest quantity of what you're going to get is these little half pinters like this. Unlike all the bigger ones in the kit that are gusseted, these are actually the gusseted stand-up bags. You can pull them out, they'll stand up. These little ones, these half-pint ones, are not gusseted, which I find a bit disappointing because it really restricts how much you're going to be able to put into those. I did do one as a tester here, and this is a cream of broccoli soup. And according to the directions on the package, it was 8 tablespoons for 1 liter of water. And it fit just perfectly. Like it's pretty much full. About 8 tablespoons of a powdered item is about all you're going to get into these little ones. So be careful with that. When you're buying these, you probably don't want too many of them. Although I will say, for powdered ingredients, if you just want single serving stuff, throw into a bug out bag or something like that, great size these ones. They'll fit the bill. But most of what we're probably going to be doing today will be going into the bigger ones, the 1 quart, the 2 quart, and the 1 gallon. Let's get started on a cream soup here. What we're going to do, we're going to grab one of our little miniature bags, and we're going to write out the label first. I probably should have done this before. We're going to write, we're going to do the Captain's Soup. Captain's Soup, 1 liter cold water, boil and serve. We're also going to put the date. Let's not get too ridiculous. 04/24, April 2024. I don't think we have to go into exactly what day in April. Yeah, I found this company, Garneau. There's sales reps all over the place here in Quebec. It's a Quebec-based company. They make a lot of seasonings, a lot of soup mixes, sauce mixes, things of that nature. But what I like about these ones is it's a cream soup that can be made with just water. You don't have to have milk. You don't have to add milk powder into this to make a cream soup. It goes just with water. Directions are 4 level tablespoons for a ½ liter. Well, a ½ liter is not going to do my family. I need twice that, a liter of soup. So we're going to measure out our 8 tablespoons. Sorry. First, what we're going to do before we do all that, because it's going to be easier, is put our label on. We can get it off of the sheet. There we go. Because it's a lot easier to put the label on these things when they're flat. So there we go. The name of what it is, the instructions, and the date it was packaged on there. So we had 1 in there already. Let's keep going. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, on this particular item, I'm not going to put down on the label how much is in here. I don't care. It's a soup mix. What I care about is that the instructions are on there. If it says mix this with 1 liter of cold water, then that's what it is. Who cares at that point how much is in it? But there it is. It's still open. Product is inside. The label is on. Set it aside and keep going. I'm only going to do 1 of these right now for the video. But if you were doing more of them, if you want to do 8 or 10 of these little packages, do the 8 or 10 packages. Fill them all up first, and then you can start with your oxygen absorbers and your sealing. Now, to get ready to seal this up with the oxygen absorber in it, I'm going to turn the iron on right now. Get that heating up a bit. Let's move some of this stuff out of the way for now. Soup mixes there. Our couscous over to there. Move some stuff out of the way here. There we go. We're out of the way. At that point, we can take our board, put it flat down on the counter. With the kit for these little half-pint bags, they sent 200cc oxygen absorbers. Now, this is a powdered product. It's pretty dense. It's not like I'm putting the mushrooms in these, which have a lot of airspace around them. This is dense. It's right in there. It's packed right down in there. A 100cc, I think, is going to be fine for this this type of packaging. If you were doing peas or beans or rice or something like that in here, you might want to go with the 200cc because there's more airspace around those products. But this being a powder, there's not much airspace around it, so a 100cc should do. Yeah, the iron's getting there. So once we have all of the packages lined up, that's when you're going to want to put in your oxygen absorbers. I keep mine in a jar, mason jar like that. A little poof when you open it. It's not like opening something that you've home canned. Drop it right in there. And once you're done, put the lid right back on. You'll notice this one has the indicators in here. There's a couple of them starting to turn purpley blue because there's oxygen now in this jar. it's going to absorb the little bit that's in here. There's 100 or so 100 cc'ers in here, so I'm not worried about using these up. And those dots will, once the oxygen's taken out of there, will go back to being red. Now, we want to seal this up. We have the zip seal on these bags, at least. That part I did like. So we're going to zipper seal these up with as little air in them as possible. Put them down on our board, grab our hot iron. Before we do that, just give you the little indication that these are the tear-offs. They have the little tear-off tabs here. So we don't want to seal below where the tear-off tabs are, or it's going to be a pain in the butt to get into. So just be careful. You get about a ½ an inch or so here at the top above these tear-off tabs, and that's where you want to keep the seal line. It'll just make it easier to rip open the package later. Our iron is nice and hot. Just going to put it down flat on that board and slowly work our iron across the top. Might take a couple of passes till we get it all sealed up nicely. Again, making sure, trying to take care at least that we don't go way past that tear-off tab that's on there. Get it all nice and flattened down. Don't be afraid to crank up your iron. Put it on a high setting for this. You're not going to melt the Mylar unless you leave it here for a long time. Back and forth a few times and we're all sealed up. Just like that, ready to go. Throw this into a bug out bag or whatever you want to take it in your bag. Maybe you're going to make a food bucket for a week or so. You throw a couple of these cream soup packages in here. Single serving, ready to go. What are we going to do next? Well, let's do one with the bigger bags. And let's do this. Let's do the couscous. The couscous I know is going to fit into one of these half-pint bags. Alright, let's get those off here. Those are done and ready to go. So let's grab our label and we'll read the instructions on here. 1 cup of water, bring to a boil, add 1 cup dry couscous. Alright, so I made couscous for the fam last night. I made 1 cup and it was too much. We had leftovers. We don't want leftovers when shit hits the fan. We don't have refrigeration. We got no place to put them. And the dog gets plenty of food anyway. So we're going to cut that recipe down to about 3/4 of a cup of couscous, which is going to take 3/4 of a cup of water. So we're going to write what it is. We're going to write couscous. Add to 3/4 cup boiling water. There. That's what it is. That's the instructions. We're putting our date 04/24. Take the label off. These labels came with the kit. If you have bought just bulk bags, well, I mean, you can go to the dollar store and buy sheets of labels like this. No big deal. So we're going to put our label on first because it's a lot easier when the bag is flat and empty. Open up that bag as much as we can. Again, without that gusset in the bottom, these ones, they don't hold a whole heck of a lot. It says they're half pint, which is 1 cup. I haven't been able to fit a whole cup of anything in there yet. But I do know that 3/4 of a cup will go. So let's try 3/4 of a cup of our couscous. To help us out, we're going to use the canning funnel, which just fits over the lip of that. It's just so we don't make a mess and have dry couscous all over the counter, all over the floor. Into the bag it goes. Take that out. tap that puppy down. There we go. I think we're going to be able to get that closed. Because this is couscous, it's not really a powder. There's a lot of airspace in between. So we are going to go with the 200 cc oxygen absorbers on that. And yes, the first thing I do when I get oxygen absorbers in is I put them into my mason jars. I don't trust them in the package that they come in. Vacuum sealed, little plastic packages. They can be torn, punctured, stuff like that. So I like to put them into the mason jar right away. Really tap this down. This one's going to be tight, 3/4 of a cup of couscous. Tapping it down until we can get that zipper seal completely closed like that. Now that it's closed, we can maybe shake it around a bit to make things nice and flat, which will help with storage space. Put it down on our board, grab our iron, and away we go. I'm just going to go back and forth over this a couple times. You know what, I'm going to crank the heat on my iron a little bit more. There we go. I'm into the steam section, but there's no water in this anyway. It's not going to steam. But the hotter temperature will get this sealed a little bit faster. Back and forth over it. This is another reason why I like the tear-off bags with the Ziploc resealable feature to them. With the zip, you can Ziploc in your oxygen absorber in your product to keep the air from getting to it right away until you get everything sealed. With the open top bags, the more you do, say you do 20 bags of something, by the time you get to the 20th bag, without that Ziploc there to close it, you're starting to activate your oxygen absorber. And I don't know why I'm doing this another time. It's sealed, but there we go. Activate your oxygen absorber, and well, it loses a bit of efficacy that way. Now that's why I like the Ziploc. You Ziploc it closed as soon as you put your oxygen absorber in, and you won't have as many problems with losing efficacy on your oxygen absorber. So there's another meal feature. You can throw this into my bug out bag or a 1 week 5-gallon bucket of portable food or whatever you want to do. There is family size instructions how to prepare it are on there, along with what exactly it is and the date when it was packaged. Well, let's go on to something a bit bigger. I know these little half-pint things won't take very many mushrooms at all. That's what we're going to package up next. And here's what I like about these gusseted bags. I'll show you that. You see the way the bottom opens up like that? When you open up the bag and the gusset in the bottom. A, it helps stand it up so I can fill it a lot easier. But B, it really opens the bag and you can get a lot more product in there. I wish those half-pint ones had been gusseted. They're not. The package says 70 Mylar bags, 14 mil thickness, gusseted. The small ones are not gusseted. That was a bit disappointing. 14 mil, by the way, refers to the thickness of the entire bag. Each side is 7 mil here. Mushrooms. Here we go. Dehydrated mushrooms. I bought like a 680 gram package of mushrooms last week. Threw them in the dehydrator. It was just a deal that I couldn't pass up. I like mushrooms. The fam likes mushrooms in certain things. So we got some mushrooms. Well, let's not even bother measuring. We should measure. Hey, what we got in here? Let's see, we can put about a cup of dehydrated mushrooms right into our bag. Directly in. It's not a powder. I'm not going to bother with the funnel. That really didn't give us much. This is a bigger bag. It's not going to be used really as a single serving thing. It's got the Ziploc. I can reclose it. see if we can get the whole thing in here. This was probably 1.5 pounds or so of mushrooms. Yeah, we got the whole thing in there. What size is this one supposed to be? 1 quart. Yeah, well, it was a quart. It was a 1 quart jar full of mushrooms, and it went into the 1 quart bag. Write down what it is. There's no real instructions on this. I mean, if you don't know how to rehydrate your food that you dehydrated, we'll start looking into that. But this is just more or less going to be going into soups, stews, sauces, things like that. So into throwing it into liquid things, it's going to rehydrate on its own. There's no real instructions of how much water to put on it, unless you're going to sit there and chaw down on rehydrated mushrooms. I don't recommend it. So we're just going to write out our label. Dehydrated mushrooms. They're regular old white caps, so I'm not going to bother putting down that they're white caps. They're plain. If I was doing oyster mushrooms, I might say oyster mushrooms or shiitakes or whatever. But at this point, I'm not going to do it. And 0424. Yes, I should have written this label out and put it on before I bagged my product. But what's done is done. Slap our label on there. Wasn't too bad. Now, what they sent for this size bag, the 1 quart bag, was the 300cc. And because this is not a dense product, there's lots of airspace in between. That's exactly what I'm going to use. So in will go 1 300cc. Close that jar back up. That there. Shake down our product so we can get that Ziploc closed. Takes a bit of working. You got to play with it a bit. It's not magic. Run our fingers back over it and make sure. Straighten out our bag. And there we go. Get our measuring cups out of the way. Flat down onto the board. Take our iron. Be careful of that tear off tab again. Run our iron over that. Back and forth once or twice. Oh yeah, the higher temperature. The higher the temperature, the faster this goes, folks. There we go. This was 680 grams, easily, what, 1.5 pounds or so of fresh mushrooms that were dehydrated down. Now they're packed for long-term storage. Easy peasy. Let's do something else. What else did we have here? Pancake mix. Who doesn't like some pancakes in the morning? So we're going to read our directions. 5 to 6 pancakes is not going to feed my family of 3. That maybe is a side dish, but we're having pancakes, we're having pancakes. So we're going to want the 10 to 12, which is 2 cups. Now, are we going to get 2 cups into a 1 quart? We should. 1 quart is 4 cups, so 2 cups of pancake mix should go easily into this. The reason I love this, I buy this particular pancake mix, is again, it's water only to prepare it. So before we do something stupid, let's grab our label, grab our pen. So, we're going to put 2 cups in the bag, and it says, mix that with 1 1/3 cups of water. So we're going to write pancake mix. Add, what was it? 1 1/3 cups water. That's all we need to do. We just need the mix ratio on there. After that, it's pretty easy. Fry them, and away we go. So then we're going to put the date 04/24. Put that label on our bag. Just like that. Again, this is going to be a one meal serving for the family right there in the bag. That's just the way I'm doing things now. I'm not doing bulk items like rice and stuff like that, or flour, that kind of thing. So let's grab a measuring cup. Grab one of these glass ones because it's going to be a little easier to deal with. This has the little flap opening like that. So we're looking for 2 cups of the mix. Touch more. How are we going on that? Yeah, we got about the 2 cups there. So this gusseted one is a lot easier to get that canning funnel on top of it. In goes the 2 cups of mix. Shake everything out of the canning funnel like that. This is a powdered item, but really it's only about half full. So yeah, we're definitely going to use the 300 on this one. In goes a 300. Plop, like that. Cover that back up quickly. And this time, because the bag is only about half full, I'm going to close that zip seal almost to the end. And then I'm going to fold this over, squeeze out as much air as I can, and then with 2 fingers, finish sealing up the bag. Bag goes onto our board. Nice hot iron, straight across, being mindful of where that tear tab is. And there we go. Done and sealed. There's breakfast for the fam for one day. If I'm in emergency, on the run, eating out of a bug out bag, there's breakfast for a day. That's about all I've got with me that I want to do today. I'm going to go back at the end of this video and I'm going to finish up and I'm going to package up a whole lot more of this stuff. Maybe get you a picture of what I have done when I get finished with all that. But yeah, that's the basics. It's really easy. No vacuum sealer required. No fancy sealing machine required. You can do it with an iron and a board. You don't need to vacuum seal these bags. You can squeeze enough air out of there. Remember, air is only 21% oxygen. So if you're expecting these to seal down to like a brick, like, you know, vacuum sealed coffee or something like that, they're not going to do that. The oxygen absorber is only acting or reacting with the oxygen that's in this bag, which is what spoils food. The rest of the 79% of the air, all the other gases are still in here. But they don't affect the food at all. It's only the oxygen. So squeeze out as much of the air as you can. Go by the recommendation of what size oxygen absorber to use. If in doubt, bounce it up one notch. If you want to use the 400 on this side, go for it. Use the 400 if it makes you feel better. But I feel the 300 on this. Powdered product, not much airspace in between the product itself. Squeezed as much air as I could out of it by hand. 300cc oxygen absorber on that should do the trick. I still have the 2 quart and the 1 gallon bags to deal with. I think the 1 gallon I'll probably use for flour or something like that. 2 quart, I'm sure I'll find plenty of uses for. So in the meantime, don't forget, You got to keep doing stuff. Today we're packaging up more food. I'll be going to the grocery store later on. There'll be some stuff bought for the dehydrator to add to my tropical fruit mix. That, yeah, I still haven't got this packaged. But I want to get some bananas, make some banana chips and put in there. And then we'll get it packaged up into bags. Probably snack size. These ones, the little half pints there. Perfect for a snack of some dehydrated fruit, maybe some nuts and a couple of Smarties or something, maybe for the kids. Put them in there. It's a perfect size for a little snack. So there's that too. I guess they do have some uses, but again, disappointed that they didn't come with the gusset on them. The product said that they were gusseted bags. The half pint is not gusseted. I'll leave a link in the video description. This is bought off of Amazon. I'll give you the link to where it is. You can check it out, buy it for yourself. The oxygen absorbers came with it, except for the 100 cc's. I had those to begin with. I'll leave a link down there for you for that too. Okay, so I told you at the end of this I would go over what I've got done here. So right here we have 5 packages already made, serving size for the family of couscous. Instructions are on there. Add to 3/4 cup boiling water, and the date 04/24. 5 of those. The cream soups, I got 4 of those all set up. Again, family size servings. Add that to 1 liter of cold water, boil and serve. So there's 4 of those. They're all sealed up, ready to go. Over here, I got 10 packages of powdered whole milk. 1 liter water. Yeah, it's add contents to 1 liter water, and you shake it up and wait a few minutes. There's your whole milk. I actually tried a glass of that stuff, and lo and behold, it actually tastes like milk. It was pretty cool. I was expecting some kind of powdery, nasty taste, but no, it's actually pretty good, that one. Here, where is it? Here. There we go. Pancake mix. 5 of those, again, packaged up for a serving for the family. Add 1 1/3 cups of water, and, well, you know the rest. So there's 5 packages of that. Right there we have dehydrated mushrooms. Now that's the whole, it was a 680 gram package, I believe. A 600 and some odd gram package of mushrooms. All sliced up, dehydrated. Those went into 1 bag. I didn't see the point of trying to put them into the smaller ones like that and make them serving size. Mushrooms is something we'll go through. It's not going to spoil by the time we finish a small 1-quart bag. Then the trail mix. Yes, I got the trail mix done. In there is the papaya, the pineapple, the mango. I got the banana chips dehydrated. I went out and I got myself some pumpkin seeds, so those are in there. And a few of those little snack size packages, fun size packages of Smarties, because I find kids will eat fruit a lot more if there's a little bit of chocolate involved. So those went into just 2-quart bags. I didn't see the point in putting them into those little ones because I don't think they would quite hold a serving. So trail mix like that, 2 1-quart bags, and yeah, that's the first run right there of vacuum packaging. See if we can get it all in frame. Kind of, sort of. I can't back up anymore. I'm at the kitchen counter. But there it is. That's 1 day of packaging up food right there. We're going to keep going. And in the next video, I got a neat trick coming up. You're going to want to check that one out. Again, it involves the dehydrator and the vacuum sealing of, well, not vacuum sealing, but the sealing up with the oxygen absorbers into the Mylar bags. So hang on for that one. It'll be out in a couple of days. And remember, be prepared, folks. It's a tough world out there.